Hi, hello, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Crick Static powered by Wannabuy, the world's first exclusive 360 degrees buyers only requirement listing portal where buying is like a charm and is not a mystery unlike Sunil Narain. And I'll expand about that more as I progress with this episode. And I'm really happy to be back with a spree of episodes. I did take a break for a while. I was on vacation, but this is exactly what I love doing. And I couldn't be more excited for this episode because I already mentioned Sunil Narain, so you must have already guessed which episode we'll be reviewing today. The Mumbai Indians versus the Kolkata Knight Riders post-match review of the finally, the game that I've been waiting for this IPL. A 170 total being posted by the side that's batting first. In this case, it was the Kolkata Knight Riders on a surface that does not aid batting a lot, and the bowlers do pick up 3+ wickets, and the team that bats first wins the game. So this is the iconic IPL game. Every season you have at least few used to have at least 10 games like these which used to go down to the wire, and this was another game which wouldn't have gone down to the wire, probably the last 2 overs, but did produce a very good result for the Kolkata Knight Riders. And I must say the way this surface started off and the way it ended as well, it completely bewildered me. This surface was not the usual Wankhede surface, which is tacky, 8 seam movement first on first up, and we did see that. And it's more of a bowler's paradise, and that towards the first half of the innings, and second half it becomes a batsman's friend. And all I can say is that early on when Rajasthan Royals in the early on in the tournament, the Rajasthan Royals versus the Mumbai Indians game, we saw the havoc that the RR bowlers wrecked, whether it was Nandre Berger, whether it was Trent Bolt. You could see that whichever pacer was coming in to bowl on the surface felt as if the pacer was at home. You could see the ball moving both ways. I don't know if it was because of the pedigree of both Trent Bolt and Andre Berger, but I definitely felt that Wankhede surface was the one I was used to. It is definitely a batting wicket, no doubt about that, but at the same time, we have seen glimpses in this IPL or even in previous editions where the wicket, tends to aid a little bit of swing early on. That's why I said it was a bowling wicket. Probably it's 50-50 as well. This wicket, very hard to judge. But coming back to this game, I must say the way the surface started off, extremely slow. I felt the ball just wasn't coming onto the bat, whether it was the first innings, whether it was the second innings. You could see Venkatesh Iyer, once he started accelerating, scored a wonderful 72 or 50 balls. He was trying to get going every time, but the ball just wouldn't come onto his waist. It would just stay low, or it wouldn't have the pace. Was it the intention from the Mumbai Pacers? Because you could see Hardik Pandya running in and bowling a few slower ones. You could see Bumrah intentionally trying to bowl a little slower onto the surface. Coach Zia's decisions have been questionable throughout the season, but coming in and bowling again, there was a lot of change of pace. So was that the tactic discussed in the dugout by ex-bowling coach of the Rajasthan Royals and current of the Mumbai Indians, Lasith Malinga and co, or was it just the surface's nature? We have got to stay tuned for a couple of post-match interviews. But I have to say the way Venkatesh Iyer played, when you lose your top 5 for nearly 60 runs or 70 runs, it's very hard to rebuild, and that's where I felt Gautam Gambhir and Chandu Pandit struck gold by sending in Manish Pandey. This is the ideal Manish Pandey situation. I felt teams started using him in a way in which he's not comfortable, which is not an ideal situation for Manish to enter, and that would be going in and slogging or going in one down and asked to go after the spinners when you have a relatively good power play. But the ideal Manish Pandey situation, the one that you would relate to his name, would be rebuilding or stabilizing the innings. And that was exactly what was needed yesterday versus the Mumbai Indians, and Manish Pandey left no stone unturned to prove yet again that he still got the game left in him. 42 of 31 deliveries, a great knock from Pandey. A lot of people would say that strike rate, but let me tell you that sometimes today in T20 cricket we overuse this term strike rate. Strike rate is a very subjective term. Sometimes strike rates lie. It's as simple as that. Numbers lie, in my opinion. Only in a few certain cases like Virat versus Sachin, it doesn't. But I must say, when Manish Pandey was batting, when he scored 42 of 31, everyone was saying, well, strike rate. There were a lot of people on X who were saying, strike rate, why is he not hitting? Why isn't the ball going to the fence? All of this. But all I can say is that the ball wasn't coming onto the bat. And he played exactly what he was sent in to do. He played his role, fantastically. Went inside, took the singles, played the odd boundary, ran hard between the wickets, and to see him again don purple and gold is a feel of its own, because it takes me back to my brother's days when he used to watch cricket as an ardent cricket fan, and he would tell me that Manish Pandey was a great player in purple and gold, and to see him do it once again, for him it was nostalgia, and for me it was something new, because over the years, after Gautam Gambhir and Kolkata Knight Riders cut Manish Pandey from the mix, it's been Gautam Gambhir the player, It had been a lot of turbulent years for Manish. He really hadn't found his feet again. He was not making runs for India. He was not making runs for KKR or for any other IPL franchise that he represented. And finally, he's come back with a bang. I feel that this will not make him a direct starter in the 11. But one thing is for sure that now they'll be able to rely on Manish Pandey on any given situation. There was a lot of skepticism and tentativity when you bought Manish in the auction. I'm sure it was a Gautam Gambhir decision to go for him, and this was 100% Gambhir's decision. He did the same in Lucknow, and once he came inside, you could see that the talks with Manish Pandey was that will you be able to handle it? That sense will always be invoked when you have a player like him, especially who's been going through a rough patch for nearly around 2 to 3 years. But to see him come back and play this way, I think it's going to really boost KKR's confidence in the man. The self-belief of Manish Pandey to be able to come out and play such innings. And I wouldn't be surprised if many more situations like these arise where you're 22 for 2 or 22 for 3. Manish Pandey might just be let in to go in and just play his natural game. That's just rotate the strike, play the traditional ODI game, and that's still not irrelevant in T20 cricket. Let me tell you that much. And I must say, Venkatesh Iyer accompanied him beautifully. He played a wonderful knock, 72 or 50. And let me tell you that was not an easy surface to bat on. To go out there and make those runs, it takes a lot of courage to play such shots that he played. The risks that he took, every risk, even the delivery that he got out to trying to scoop, that wasn't a bad shot at all because he was trying to exploit the shorter boundaries because he knew the ball isn't coming onto the bat. So that I know arises the question that how can he play the scoop shot? But the thinking was so clear that when you have a short fine leg in place, let me try and chip him. But it was just too good of a delivery from the master. So anyways, coming back to Venkatesh Iyer, I must say the few pull shots that he played, the left-handers, at least in this generation, the all-rounders especially, the left-handed all-rounders, they find it very hard to play the short ball, I feel. And the way that Venkatesh Iyer handled it is truly magnificent to see because they were going short, they were going wide, they were taking pace off, and he just was ready for that short delivery. He used his feet, went square off the surface, got some big muscles to back him up as well. So that was a great knock for Venki Iyer. Not a lot of tactical or analysis to do about his knock, but I must say it was a knock that will not go in vain for sure throughout the season for him. This knock will hold Venki's place ahead of Nitish Rana throughout the season. And coming on to the bowling, of course, in any game, whether you go for 280, 290, Jasprit Bumrah will not concede more than 20. 3 for 18 with 3.5 overs, a brilliant spell. The irony that he gets out Mitchell Starc with a Yorker says it all because someone who's honed the Yorker over the years, someone who's almost made it his brand, Mitchell Starc, getting ousted to that Yorker it was magnificent to see. I'll always love to see an Aussie or an English player going down. So, I mean, yeah, that's wrong. But coming back, I must say, Jasprit Bumrah bowled a terrific spell. And to back him up, I'm going to talk about another player who was very, very impressive, Nuwan Tushara. And early on, yes, I think this is the only facet in which probably Nuwan Tushara has pips Matisha Patirana in, and that is the facet of being able to take the new ball. I still feel that MS and only Ruturaj Gaikwad will not be able to trust Matisha Patirana with the new ball, but the confidence that Hardik had in Nuwan to take the new ball on this Wankhede surface, I really felt that was a good decision because to have him coming in and bowl a few overs is a good call because I think with that uncanny action that he possesses, the bounce that he's extracting off the surface, the angle that he's creating, you never know if it's outswinging or in-swinging. With his action, you expect it to outswing. But then just last minute, the way he's holding the seam, he just does this, he does this, he just pushes it like a carom board, like a carom coin, and it just goes in like the striker of a carom ball. It just runs into the batsman. So it becomes very hard to make runs. So Nuwan Tushara with the new ball was a good call. But I must say that he did not bowl exceptional deliveries. With that action and with the new ball which is slipping already in Wankhede, yes, a few balls to Raghuvanshi that was flicked for sixes as if it was Yuvraj batting. Yes, you'll always have those deliveries with that action. We've seen it with Patirana, I mentioned this before as well. But I must say the deliveries that he took wickets off weren't great deliveries. It was of course the same movement because of the conditions that helped him a lot. Even the ball to Shreyas Iyer was probably the best of the three in my opinion. And he bowled a very good spell because had Nuwan Tushara not picked up those 3 wickets early on, you never know because Phil Salt being the kind of player that he is, he himself was left bamboozled because came down the track to go, the action changes there, you come from here a little higher than Patirana I think and then he releases it like this, becomes very hard, you don't know if it's outswinging, in-swinging, is it a Yorker, is it a length delivery, you're halfway committed into the shot, you get into it and it goes up in the air because Sunil Narine who got bowled by Hardik Pandya, nice to see him bowl back again, and Phil Salt are 2 dangerous and deadly openers who you'd want to get out, and I think Nuwan Tushara did a great job along with Hardik Pandya to do that early on, or else this 169 could have gone to become a good 180. But I must say, finally, I'm very happy to say this as a CSK fan. Yes, I'm supposed to be neutral, but CSK is in my heart, and I must say the Mumbai Indians have been knocked out of IPL 2024. And I honestly, coming into the season, every pundit who was giving their verdict on the top four early on, which I find absolutely irrelevant, because I don't understand why pundits have to come in before the tournament and give their verdict. I think you should at least assess the halfway stage, or at least assess the first few games of the IPL. Directly coming in and giving their perspectives don't make any sense to me. But yeah, I must say a lot of them predicted the Mumbai Indians, but I can solely say that the Mumbai Indians have missed out on a top four spot solely because of some dugout drama, which we are not aware about and which we shouldn't be commenting about, because I think Mumbai Indians, being a franchise, a champion franchise, will bounce back. Hopefully not, but yeah, I think that's the reality that we all should be prepared for. And that brings me back to the Mumbai Indians batting. Again, very underwhelming. No one fires with the bat, barring Suryakumar Yadav, who probably is the only player who played big along with Yashasvi Jaiswal after the T20 World Cup squad announcement. And we will have a special episode on that with more than 2 panelists joining me, so stay tuned for that as well. But I must say, it was really it was a great knock from Sky. On that wicket, again, as I said, the ball wasn't coming onto the bat, so it wasn't the easiest of surfaces to get going. And when you say get going as a batsman, there are always 2 bowlers that come to mind to restrict the run flow. Barring Mitchell Starc, who took 4 for 33 in his 4 overs, he was scintillating with the ball. But I'm talking about 2 cricketers who respect every game of in my perspective keeps going up, because one is going to be Varun Chakravarti and the other is Sunil Narine. Twin figures for the 2, 4 overs for 22 runs for 2 wickets. The way they're constraining the runs in the middle overs versus the Mumbai Indians, or even any given franchise, whether a champion franchise or a trophyless franchise, has been terrific to watch, because they just come in, they don't give any runs. There's absolutely no room for runs. Narine always having that mystery element in him, getting that ball to go out despite keeping the angle inward versus Nehal Vadhera. And Varun Chakravarti, of course, at his best as always. So that's those 2 spells there. When you've given 8 overs for 44 runs and picked up 4 wickets, you've lost the game. Because in T20 cricket, you've got to go, if let's say 2 bowlers are bowling in tandem and both of them are bowling well, at the least you should be able to amass 60, because 30 of that 4 is a must. And Mumbai Indians definitely missed out on that. Naman Dheer was a big letdown. I thought he would do something big in this game when he came into the 11. But yeah, coming back to the next big thing. The guy who came in with 24.5 crores in the auction. So many people talking about it. So many people talking about his dismal performances in the first few games. And he bounces back in a typical Aussie champion-like fashion. Mitchell Starc, 4 wickets is now. You won't believe he's not even in the top 10 most run givers in this IPL. So I don't know why people have over-exaggerated his run giving spree, but yes, he has gone for runs, no doubt about that. But I do feel that the element of over-exaggerating especially in the IPL has really gone up once again, because I understand that the price tag is being associated when you talk about the runs that he's been conceding. But if you keep the price tag aside, he hasn't done that dismal of a job for the Kolkata Knight Riders. He was terrific with the ball, was Mitchell Starc, ended the game in typical Starc-like fashion. And the wicket before Chawla's also was nothing short of exceptional, because he's that kind of a player, isn't he? Mitchell Starc. He was getting the ball to move a little bit, going a little wider of the crease. His non-bowling arm used to come straight on earlier, but now it's just gone a little wider so that he can push that ball both away and inwards. So he had a great game as well, and I think Kolkata Knight Riders are certified in the top 4, because now when you have Rajasthan Royals, when you have Sunrisers Hyderabad, and when you have Kolkata Knight Riders, you have only 1 spot left for competing for. And I must say, even the Sunrisers Hyderabad have looked little dibbly-dobbly throughout the tournament, very topsy-turvy performances. Whether they will make it or not, that's still a question mark that's yet to be answered. But Kolkata, in my opinion, looks certain top 4 candidates. And whether they make it to the final versus the Chennai Super Kings, that still remains a question mark. Yes, the CSK bias kicking in there. They've had a bad season, but let's hope that they bounce back in great fashion. I think I've touched upon the facets and aspects of this game that I had to. Finally, a game, you could see the glow on my face. Finally, the game that I've been waiting for, the 170 chase in which the batting team on the second half fails, with good bowling performances from both sides. So it was a great game of cricket, and I think I've touched upon all the facets. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Crickstatic. Have a wonderful day ahead, and please do share my channel to those who you think will resonate to what I'm speaking, or those who even contradict, because I have a comment section open there. So you can always let me know on what you felt of this episode. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in.